being here all these years. We're at 8:42 now, 18 before 9. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. So it's time to check in and see what Wall Street's doing to your money today, and well, it's pretty much 2 instead of 4 at the moment. With the help of Philip Statler from Statler Financial Service, who's on the phone this morning. Philip, good morning. Yesterday was so good, and then President Trump gave his speech, and everything went to poop in a hurry, didn't it?
It did, Dave. I was hoping maybe that there would be some follow through to the rumors that were circulating yesterday, which caused the markets to really bounce up 2 days in a row, thinking that, well, this thing's going to only last a little bit longer and we'll be done. Well, his definition of a little bit longer and the American people's definition of a little bit longer obviously are a little different.
Just a little bit, just to set the table. Yesterday, on the optimism of those rumors that you referred to, we had another really good day. The Dow was up by 224 points. Standard & Poor is up by a full 0.7 of a point, up 46.80. And the NASDAQ was up 1.16%, up $250. And the Russell 2000 joined in the party. They were up 0.6%. Then President Trump's speech hit the TV, and we had no deadline for withdrawal or ending, no news about the Strait of Hormuz, no word of negotiations. He even de-emphasized that. Iran's been saying, heck no, we aren't talking to him. And he's been saying, yes, we are. Didn't have any of that stuff. And, boy, I looked at the futures graphs, and as soon as he got done talking, it was like a rock fell on everybody, wasn't it?
It was, Dave, and actually, probably during the speech, the rock was starting to drop for sure as they kind of got the idea of where things were headed.
Yep, it was pretty evident that this was a build up the base speech and didn't do any good for the more objective measurements of whether or not the stocks are a good investment for people on the short term. And boy, it was a vertical drop starting about 10 minutes into his speech. On the good news, unemployment claims are off from last week. First-time claims, 202,000 this morning. They were expecting on one of my sources anyway, 210. So the employment market is staying remarkably resilient. Things are, in general, still looking like we're keeping an even keel, even up against $110 a barrel oil prices. So we're weathering the storm at the very least, aren't we?
Well, it seems like it. We are, we're hanging in there. We've oil prices are still just getting so daggum high, Dave, that I filled up yesterday my truck. It was painful again. It was painful. Not quite 100, but getting close, like $90 to fill up my gas tank yesterday. It was definitely painful.
My little four-banger, I was about down under a half a tank on Sunday, and my normal habit is to gas up on Sundays on my way home from church. I looked down at the gas gauge and sighed and said, well, it's not going to get any cheaper, so I grimaced and went in and filled up at $3.91 a gallon. All of a sudden, I'm feeling like I got a bargain. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly.
It
That it
didn't work
is.
in the process. Other news items that are out, in addition to the lack of news that really disappointed people in President Trump's speech, just one more reason to get nervous. The Citigroup offices in Paris had a bomb possibility. They say it's a foiled bomb plot. So consequently, Citibank personnel in Paris are working from home today. Now, we can put two and two together, and normally that still makes four. You got to assume that was inspired by the hostilities over in Iran, don't you?
Yeah, you would think. I mean, any threats you get right now are going to be that direction. I mean, I'm seeing now articles about Iran threatens Nvidia, Apple, and a couple other big tech firms that they're going to attack them. It's just not what you want to hear right now.
Absolutely not, and we're hoping that's not the first of many threats against private business with American interests in it. Bank of America, speaking of financial interests, They tore up their economic forecast yesterday. They're now calling for mild stagflation. Stagflation is a four-letter word, and they're predicting $100 a barrel oil all dang year today. Boy, that we're just full of merry sunshine today,
I
aren't we?
mean, Dave, can't we find some good news anywhere?
Yeah, because Nike plunged to an 11-year low after the report they put out yesterday, so I don't even have good news on individual stocks today. It's bad news all the way around, isn't it?
It does. Hey, I do got a little tidbit here. KeyBank says Chili's owner could see some shares rise on strong sales. Evidently, Chili's restaurant's doing okay.
Well, that's good to hear. You had some news on GM that was kind of offset from some news on Nissan. I had GM put out some guidance revision, didn't they?
They did. They came out with their first quarter sales numbers. First quarter sales fell 9.7% compared to the same time last year.
Ouch. Now, just the other side of the coin in the automotive industry, Nissan Americas, their CEO says that Nissan has become the fastest growing auto brand in the world right now. So they've evidently turned it around. They were on hard times for a little while with some executive suite scandals and everything and declining sales. They say they're on the mend and they're coming back. So, there's a kind of a net zero approach between automobiles sometimes, isn't there?
Sometimes there is. Yep. I mean, the brands, can pick up and lose market share for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, SpaceX has filed for its IPO. Does that excite you?
They've been talking about it for a year now.
Yeah, I mean, Musk teases things for like 10 years before he actually does it. Now, the formal filings to make SpaceX a publicly traded company are in the paper. I have not heard yet what the expected strike price is for the initial public offering price, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when that hits the market on the first day of the IPO, won't it?
It will. Talking about that, we also have an issue with Amazon. Looks like they are, at least the rumor is, they're looking to buy Global Star, which is another mobile satellite provider, which has them up like 15, well, now 12% this morning, as Amazon declines about 2%. But I was reading an article that was quite interesting earlier this week that Delta and Amazon have kind of inked a deal. Amazon is working on these lower orbit satellites to create telecommunications and internet provisions. And it sounds like Delta has linked up with them, and that will be, once they get it up and going, they say by 2027 or 2028, that they will be the internet provider for Delta and maybe even allow for video calling while you're flying.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And besides, you can shop for widgets while you're on the plane.
Well, they're catering to the business people that want to be able to keep working while they're flying.
And it also ought to make the SpaceX, what do they call it? The satellite internet provision thing that's affiliated with SpaceX?
Starlink.
That's it. Got to make them nervous, doesn't it?
I'm sure, because they say the service will be better. We'll see.
We shall see. Oh, some tech news that might be interesting. Intel is up 9% on buyout news that they're buying a chip manufacturing plant in Ireland. I don't know who Apollo is, but they're buying it from Apollo. That can't make the administration happy with all the pressure to bring our high-tech industries over to this side of the pond, though, can it?
Yeah, I would think that would not make Trump very happy there. Oil prices going up. Oil prices going up. Some people benefit, right? Oil companies like Diamondback Energy, ConocoPhillips, Exxon, Chevron, all up 2 to 3% this morning. On the flip side of that, cruise and airlines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Delta, United, they're all down, ranging about 4% a share right now.
Geez. Well, every time I see an update on my delayed quotes, I don't like the direction things are going. Resetting the table for the morning, it was an up day yesterday. Then the president spoke, and it's been pretty much like a kid's slippery slide in a playground ever since. 45 minutes before we open, what are we looking at this morning?
I'm going to tell you, we got more than solid brick red today. The Dow right now seems to be the winner. It's only down 1.3%.
Gosh.
S&P 500 is down 1.42, and the NASDAQ 100 and the Russell 2000 both down a little over 1.8%. Big red. On the other side, we've got silver and gold. They're not too far behind. Silver down 7% this morning. Gold down 3.5%. Crude oil up 12% right now, Dave, to $112 even.
Good heaven. And you know, inside of the last 15 minutes, that's a $2 a barrel increase because it had just crossed 110 when you and I got on the phone this morning. Overseas markets are no happier than ours over in the European community. The average European index is down by over 1.4% in the Asian Rim, where they follow the news, but it's in a delay because they close at 6 a.m. our time. They responded to the Trump news by just falling like a rock. Everything red. The average mainland Chinese index down about a full percent when I take the average of the two of them. Japan went down by 2.38% at the close, and they were green until the president started talking. So it's a crummy start to the day worldwide, Philip, and boy, I need help making sure my retirement can survive this roller coaster. How do I find you to make things work for my retirement plans?
You know, Dave, that's why it's so important that we have a plan in place. And so often I meet with folks and there is no plan. And that's what we want to do. We want to help people develop a plan for their retirement. And give us a call at 863-382-0037 to start that process. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m., 95.3 FM.
And newstalk730am.com. We got one more day of the week to try to turn this mess around, Philip. Let's say we do it again tomorrow morning about this time.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a great day.
I'll see you then. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Hope you've had a great week as we head into the Easter season. Take care. Join us tomorrow if you can. If not, I'll see you next week. Bye now.